Hello, everyone. The story of Willie Edwards, one of the most beloved cast members from the History Channel's Swamp People, is one that blends triumph, tradition, and heartbreaking loss in equal measure. Known for his rugged charm, deep Louisiana roots, and unshakable connection to the bayou, Willie became a fan favorite for his authenticity and work ethic. But behind his quiet smile and fearless hunts for massive alligators was a life marked by unimaginable personal tragedy, perseverance, and the heavy responsibility of carrying on a family legacy that was built on blood, sweat, and tears. From the moment Swamp People first aired in 2010, Willie stood out as the epitome of Cajun grit, a man who didn't need fame, but whose story reflected the soul of southern Louisiana itself. Yet, what most viewers never realized was that while he was conquering the swamps on television, Willie was silently facing battles off camera that would test every ounce of his strength. His journey from humble beginnings to reality TV fame and through devastating loss is one of the most emotional untold stories to ever come out of the Swamp People universe. Born and raised in Bayou Sorrel, Louisiana, Willie Edwards learned to survive in the wild before most kids even learned to ride a bike. His father, the late Junior Edwards, was a legendary figure in the swamp community, a man who taught his son everything about gator hunting, fishing, and living off the land. Together, they embodied the true Cajun spirit, working side by side on Swamp People for years. Viewers loved seeing the father-son duo battle the dangers of the swamp, their bond rooted in love, respect, and an unspoken understanding that the swamp wasn't just a workplace, it was home. For Willie, his father was more than a mentor. He was a moral compass, a hero, and the symbol of everything he wanted to become. But when Junior decided to leave the show, Willie was left to carry on the Edwards name alone. The pressure was immense, but Willie rose to the occasion, proving that he didn't need anyone to carry him. He was every bit as capable and determined as the man who raised him. As Willie's solo adventures began, fans saw a different side of him, resourceful, steady, and humble. His calm demeanor in the face of danger made him a standout personality on Swamp People, especially as he took on massive alligators, unpredictable weather, and the endless challenges of surviving in the bayou. He often spoke about how his family motivated him, and viewers could see how proud he was to pass his knowledge to his own children. But behind his success, life wasn't always easy. The fame brought by reality television never changed Willie. He stayed grounded, faithful, and focused on providing for his family. Yet life had its own cruel plans. The Edwards family would soon face heartbreak that would shake their world forever. In 2018, tragedy struck when Willie's son, William Little Willie Edwards Jr., died in a devastating accident at just 25 years old. The young man, who shared his father's name and passion for the outdoors, was found lifeless after what was reported as a boating-related incident. For Willie, losing his son was like losing a piece of his soul. Fans who had followed the Edwards family for years were heartbroken to hear the news, especially knowing how close Willie was to his children. He had often spoken about how much he wanted to pass down his skills, to keep the family's legacy alive for generations. But that dream was shattered overnight. The death of little Willie wasn't just a personal loss, it was a wound that ran deep through the swamp community. Fellow cast members and fans flooded social media with condolences, remembering the Edwards family's kindness, strength, and humility. Willie rarely spoke publicly about the tragedy, but those close to him said it changed him forever. The once talkative, confident gator hunter became quieter, more reflective, often choosing solitude over the spotlight. But even through his grief, Willie continued to work, returning to the swamps that had always given him peace. For him, Hunting wasn't just a job anymore. It became therapy, a way to feel close to his father and son, both of whom he had lost. The swamps of Louisiana, with their haunting beauty and silent waters, became a living memory of everything he loved and lost. Many viewers noticed that Willie carried a different energy on later seasons of Swamp People. The smile was still there, but behind it was pain. Pain that only someone who's buried a child could truly understand. What made Willie's story even more emotional was how he continued to honor his family through quiet strength rather than words. He never turned his grief into a spectacle or sought sympathy. Instead, he let his work speak for itself. The gator-filled waters or fixing his boat in the early morning mist, Willie showed the world that true resilience doesn't come from pretending everything is okay. It comes from getting up every day and pushing forward, no matter how heavy your heart feels. His ability to keep going inspired countless fans who had faced loss of their own. For them, Willie became a symbol of courage, a reminder that life in the swamp and in the world never stops, even when tragedy strikes. As time went on, Swamp People evolved, introducing new hunters and new storylines, but Willie remained one of the constants. His knowledge of the land, his quiet leadership, and his connection to Louisiana's wild heart made him irreplaceable. Even without his father by his side, he carried the Edwards legacy proudly, reminding everyone that his roots ran deeper than any television show could ever capture. Fans continued to admire his humility and authenticity, two qualities that made him stand out in a world of manufactured drama. For Willie, the fame was never the goal. What mattered most was honoring the land, providing for his family, and keeping the traditions of his ancestors alive. But Willie's story is also a sobering reminder of how hard the life of a swamp hunter really is. While the show often highlights the adventure and excitement, the reality is brutal. Every season brings dangers, storms, accidents, injuries, and the constant financial strain of surviving off the land. The physical demands are enormous, and the emotional toll of balancing work, family, and loss can break even the strongest spirits. Yet Willie endured it all with quiet grace. He once said in an interview, "The swamp takes care of you if you respect it, but if you don't, it'll take everything from you." Those words, spoken years ago, seem even more powerful today, knowing how much the swamp has given him and how much it has taken away. Today, Willie Edwards remains a living legend of Swamp People, but he's also a man who has carried an extraordinary amount of pain behind the scenes. His strength doesn't come from his muscles or his survival skills. It comes from his heart. The loss of his son, the legacy of his father, and his unwavering bond with the land have shaped him into one of the most respected figures on the show. Fans who followed his journey for over a decade often say that Willie represents the true spirit of Louisiana, tough, loyal, humble, and deeply connected to his roots. In the end, the heartbreaking tragedy of Willie Edwards isn't just about loss. It's about love, endurance, and the unbreakable bond between a man and the swamp that raised him. Through every storm, every heartbreak, and every loss, Willie continues to stand tall, living proof that even when life knocks you down, you can still rise, quietly, powerfully, and with dignity. His story reminds us that strength isn't about never breaking, it's about finding the courage to keep going, even when your heart has been broken beyond repair. As fans continue to watch him glide through the misty waters of Louisiana, they see not just a hunter, but a survivor, a man who's endured more than most yet still honors the land, his family, and his name. For Willie Edwards, Swamp People isn't just a show, it's the story of his life, written in the muddy waters of the bayou, one hunt, one heartbreak, and one unbreakable spirit at a time. Thanks for watching.